Coming up in this episode, winter jazz in Copenhagen. We are taking a trip out to the farm to see how pigs live.
We do?
Yeah, we are. We are going to tell you where to live in Denmark if you want to live longer. Also true. And Vladimir is busy buying cables. I'm Tim.
I'm Julie, and welcome to MyDTV.com.
So Julie, you're looking for a new apartment, aren't you?
Yes, I am, Tim.
What if I suggested to you Albertslund as a good place that you could find a nice, affordable apartment?
Okay, and why do you
just
do
outside
that?
Copenhagen. I think it's
Still
about 12
far
kilometers.
from Copenhagen, though.
Oh, you know, I once biked there at 5 in the morning on a city bike, actually. That's another story. But I know you're saying, why the hell is he saying Albertslund? This week I came across a survey which showed the average lifespan of people living in different regions of Denmark. And you wouldn't believe it, but there is a huge difference, 15-year difference around the different regions.
And people live longest in Albertslund?
Unfortunately not. They're actually the ones who live the shortest, 66 years.
So you don't want me to turn 90?
Well, it's not that. I just think you're looking for an affordable place to live, and I suspect.
But still, Tim.
Yeah.
Still.
But on the other hand, if you want to live to be a little over 80, Gentofte Kommune is the place for you, just north of Copenhagen.
That sounds good.
Anyway, we put a link to the survey below the episode. But let's get on to what's up, shall we? Yeah. So, first up this week is Copenhagen Winter Jazz, which is an extension of the Copenhagen Jazz Festival, which is actually, I think, Denmark's biggest festival, isn't it? Over 200 concerts. It runs from January 28th to February the 6th. Actually, it's not just in Copenhagen, but there's concerts all over Denmark. So check it out if you're living in any of the big cities in Denmark. It's well worth it. There's actually going to be some concerts at Studenterhuset, which is right behind us.
So are you going to the jazz festival?
Well, there's one concert for sure. I would like to see a few, but I'm really going to try to get to Herbalizer playing at Vega. Good stuff.
And now let's move on to something a little bit more serious.
A little more serious?
Yes.
I told you we have too much serious stuff on the show, Julie.
Oh, well, because recently I actually read a study about expats living in Denmark. And by the way, Tim, do you know how many expats do we have in Denmark
I have
general?
Absolutely no idea.
Should we sit down or?
This bench is very wet. Let's not sit down.
Okay, we don't do that. Yeah. Last year there was 41,000.
41,000?
Yeah, but they're actually growing from 33,000 from 2008.
33,000 up to 41. Okay, that's actually a huge growth. But you know, I'm not surprised because I have this feeling that there's more and more companies that are working in English and hiring expats over the last years. Yeah.
Well, now talking about working in Denmark, actually 69% of them are very satisfied with the working culture in Denmark in general, but 8% of them are actually quite negative.
8%.
Yeah, and I don't know why.
I bet you those are Maersk employees who are forced to wear blue shirts and are not happy about it.
Come on. But in general, they're very happy because it seems like we have a balance in work life. You know, Danish employers, they do respect the family life of their employees, and I think up to 90% of them are actually satisfied with that fact.
Yeah.
Well, the study also examined how do expats feel about the tax system in Denmark.
And I bet you they thought taxes were too high.
Yeah,
am I right?
No surprise, right? Up to 50% of them actually think that the tax is too high.
Yeah, sure.
And the language is difficult, and it's also very difficult for them to integrate into the Danish society.
Yeah, no surprise.
No surprise. But anyway, the study is more than 100 pages, so just click on the link below if you want to read more about it.
Yeah. Wouldn't you say that, you know, we're doing what we can to help people integrate into Danish society if they want?
We do our best.
Yes.
We do our best. Yeah.
So, time to move on to Vladimir and see what kind of cables he's going to be buying this week.
Hi, I'm Vladimir Chen. Today I'd like to share with you a very practical resource. But before I do that, remember in one of our early episodes I talked about fitness resources in Denmark. And one of them was Fresh Fitness, which was the newest facility in town. Well, last week I had a chance to try their facility in Amager. And of course, while being there and doing my workout, I filmed the center from the inside. It was a pleasant surprise to see that for 129 krona a month, you get all you need to do your workout. Lots of different machines, such as treadmills, cross trainers, exercise bikes, and so on. a very clean, light facility, and user-friendly stuff. When I was doing my workout, I especially liked those motivational quotes they have on the walls of the facility. Training is the opposite of hoping, or pain is temporary, quitting lasts forever, and so on. Something that we all need once in a while, right? That extra push or reminder. Alright, as I said earlier, the website I'm going to talk about is quite practical. It's called AV Cables, and they sell all sorts of cables. When you're in Denmark, I'm sure sometimes you will need one cable or another. It's either for your TV, DVD, iPod, iPhone, HDMI, XLR, VGA, SATA, USB, DVB, DVB-T, Ethernet, whatever, you get the point. Of course, there are physical stores where you can buy things like that, for example, Vertex. But you also need to consider the price, right? Physical outlets are often more expensive because of the storage and service costs. And of course, it takes time to actually go there for a little cable. You can order cables online at avcables.dk. They have a wide range of products. You can search by category to your left or use search function. AV Cables provides day-to-day shipping, 30-day return policy, price guarantee, and the low shipping fees. Their rating is very good, or actually it's perfect on Trustpilot. No doubt you are not going to use it every day, but when you need cables, AV Cables can definitely be a handy website. And if you like this resource, join CopenhagenClicks.com, where we upload many more tutorials like this for you to take most out of your stay in Denmark. Until next time, bye.
Thanks for that, Vladimir. And now we are heading out to the farm.
Yes.
No, we're not. I lied, actually. It was a complete lie. We are actually going to talk about pigs, though, and how they're farmed in Denmark.
Yeah.
And that's why we're standing in front of this organic hot dog cart. The only one, or the first one the only one in Denmark, actually.
In Copenhagen, yeah.
In Copenhagen.
But did you know that Denmark was the first country in the world to introduce an organic hot dog cart?
I did not.
1993.
1993?
Yes.
Wow.
Actually, it was Hanneke who was the biggest producer of organic whole meats and sausages in Denmark. They introduced it back in 1993 at the Harvest Market, and more than 10,000 people showed up.
Yeah, and Hanneke, they're one of the sort of, you could say, good guys, because they produce meats without any preservatives, all those E52, E302, and all these different funny additives.
Numbers and
Yeah. So only organic meats.
And of course, right here, everything is organic. All the ingredients are organic.
Yes. So there you go.
Yeah.
So we just thought we would tell you a few facts about pig farming in Denmark and how the pigs are raised, because this is something that not a lot of people know. You may have heard of a movie called Food Inc., which was quite popular in the last couple of years. And it really talked about American farming practices. And I remember when I saw that thinking, it can't be like that in Denmark. It turns out it is like that in Denmark.
Okay.
So actually, here you have something like 98% of pigs are raised in the traditional way.
And how are they raised?
The traditional way is basically there's no requirements that they have any access to outdoors, so they're raised in small boxes, bunch of pigs inside, and that's it. But if you do want some assurance of how the pig was raised that you're eating in your meat, then you have to buy meat which has either an organic symbol, which is the little U, and I'm sure Daniel will put one up right now on over me, or else one that's Frilands Produkter, which means that it has access to farmland all the time.
So what are the rules before you can get to that U?
Yeah, the organic certification in Denmark. There's a few little things. The pigs have to be fed feed which is more than 90% organic, and when they're given medication, normally there's a certain regulation for how long after that they can be slaughtered. Yes, and they'll spend twice as much time before they're slaughtered after being medicated and so on.
Okay.
So there's some little rules like that.
Yeah.
And of course they have to have access to grazing space. So there you have it.
You know what, Jim? After all this talk about organic pig, if I want to be a pig, Not
Yeah.
I want to. I think I would prefer to be an organic pig. rather than-
I think that's a very, very good idea. And you would probably want to be a pig who is not being raised by, Denmark's largest producers like Tulip and Three Stjerne.
Yeah.
They're the ones that sell this kind of very pink, glowing meat product that you find at Netto.
And, salamis and
Yeah, and it's at least 3% meat and 97%, other.
So do you eat them?
No.
Well, but why don't we try to buy this and
Yeah.
see how they taste?
Yeah, sure.
Organic hot dog in
Let's-
Copenhagen.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
We also have to feed the cameraman. Let's eat our hot dogs and then we'll answer your question.
Yep. Should we eat it?
Ah.
Sorry.
Okay. Stop, cameraman. This week's question comes from Emily, who writes, could you please feature bookshops in Denmark, chains and independent, in one of your future shows that sell English books? Well, Emily, it's not that difficult to get English books in Copenhagen. Most bookstores have an English book section, and I presume that's true in the rest of Denmark too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Roskilde, you can get English books there?
Positive.
I'm kidding. But my personal favorites would be Politiken's bookshop, just by Rådhuspladsen, is very good. And right behind us, Arnold Busk has a very good English section.
Yeah, that's true. And if we're talking about big chain, and I would say Bowen's ID, they have around 87 bookstores around Copenhagen. And you can also look at...
Around Copenhagen. It's
Oh,
like every corner
so
there. It's like
sorry.
7-Eleven.
Around Denmark. I was a little bit confused, sorry about that. But you can also check on bogpriser.dk where you can have an overview of different, book dealers, or just check out the website of the Danish Booksellers Association to find out more about different dealers located around Copenhagen.
Yeah, we put
Denmark.
the link. Put the link right below the episode at mydenmarktv.com. And for asking the question, Emily gets 3 months free subscription to our CopenhagenClicks.com website. And of course, if you have a question, just pop it in the mailbag. And if you need a more detailed consultation about any aspect of your stay in Denmark, then just click on the link below that says consult with mydenmarktv.com.
That's it for this week. We hope you enjoyed it because we surely did enjoy the hot dog.
Yes, we did. Actually, I think that the hot dog carts in Toronto are a little bit better. Sorry, Danes.
Well, maybe I should come and try that.
Yes.
Anyway, thanks for watching, and you can always follow us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. So
That's right.
until next Wednesday,
See you next week.
bye.
See you next week.
Wednesday, when